What's going on, fellow gamblers? Welcome back to Straight Betting, where your boy, me, is pretty pumped up because Timberwolves, we just dumped Mike Conley for a bag of chips, aka cap space, and we all know what that means. You guys see the thumbnail. Wolves are getting Giannis soon, and NBA is in trouble. Anyways, guys, I'm joined by my guy Millie. Millie, how you doing? Quick, give the audience a little or address them on who you are and what you do.
What's going on? Yeah, mainly just focus on like NBA stuff, just straights with some parlays sprinkled in, maybe the occasional ladder, but it's really just straight heavy. A little bit of football, but like mainly basketball.
Yeah, basketball is the shit, dude. When you say like mainly basketball, are you kind of like me, I'm guessing, where like you'll do football when nothing else is on, but as soon as hoops comes on, you're just completely dialed in with that.
Yeah, I'm good from like weeks 1 through 8 or 9, and then the opening night, I'm just that's all my intention.
Yeah, I agree, dude. It's like it's hard to like NBA just because NBA is like the sport too, where like I feel like if you miss a day of news, you miss a day of like just betting it, or not even a day, maybe like 2 or 3 days, you just get completely out of the loop with stuff. And yeah, it's a grind,
crazy.
But it's also very exploitable. Like I saw on Twitter, you played some Isaiah Collier stuff today, didn't you?
This morning, yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. See, and now it's like no Clayton, and you're gonna be looking good with that. So take that
It's
shit
weird
out.
though. They like ruled Nurkic out, and then they brought him like he's available now.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I think my take on that is that there's a decent chance that we've seen this happen before, right? Nurkic is not starting, but he's not inactive, and he just doesn't play. I kind of think that like jumping in on Filipowski stuff right now in hopes of that happening, because I think there's actually like what probability would you give Nurkic like not even playing here?
I don't think it's 0 because I remember there's a game against the Bulls where he was just a DNP, just sitting on the bench the whole time when I think it was just Markkanen was out and like after the Kessler injury, obviously. I don't think it's 0, but I think they're so slim. I think they have 8 guys available that he's probably gonna have to get minutes, but they're all like wings. Like Collier's the only real ball handler.
Yeah, Collier is the only ball handler, so he's probably going to play huge minutes. Well, anyways, Millie, let's go in order by where they are at Props Madness. Do you have anything on this Nuggets Pistons game yet?
I don't. I had a pretty strong lean on Murray points, but I didn't get around to playing anything straight in this one or like official.
Yep, I agree with you here.
Yeah. It's so weird when the Pistons are tough because they're just good at everything, but I think Asar is just gonna play him on an island. They're not gonna send too many doubles. It's definitely an easier matchup versus OKC. Like the last 2, he had 2 down games, but the Clippers were actually doubling him a ton in that game.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Because like I agree with you. The Pistons are a weird team, right? Like they don't allow shit in the paint. They don't allow shit to spot up. So it's like they do kind of just tend to leave their guys on an island. I will say one thing about this spot that's kind of putting me off a little bit is I'm having trouble projecting Jokic out because I know it's like Jokic is probably still on, somewhat of a minute restriction, but they also play the Knicks tomorrow too, which shows like the wrinkle to it. I wonder if because I could see a world where, because Jokic doesn't really rest and he doesn't really do minute restrictions either usually. So I just don't know. What do you think the Nuggets' plan is with Jokic in terms of like minutes, given that it's the front end of a back-to-back against like an actual like relevant team too?
I mean, it's still going to be slightly limited. I read something from like a Denver beat reporter that said the limit isn't going to be crazy when he first came back. It's not anything like muscular. But his minutes also, like when he's not limited, he plays the whole first quarter and the whole third quarter. And with it being a back-to-back, if the game's out of range or like that weird 15 to 20 point like difference, whether they're up or down, I think they just kind of like see like what direction the game is going, and he might lose out on like a couple rotational minutes, and then Like if he has to come back in the game at the end, he will. But on the front end of a back-to-back, that's just like something to keep in mind. But I think he's getting close to just playing normal minutes, honestly.
Yeah. So like, what would you? Because I know you play around with like the projection tool sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
What number are you putting in this projection tool? Because I know what mine is.
Probably like 30 to 31.
Okay, so let's do 30 and a half. You can do so per 30 and a half minutes, because I really like just under rebounds and assists. Like I know it seems really low, man, but I feel like there's a lot of like avenues for this to go under. And even maybe you could just do assists. I took Aaron Gordon off the court for this, and I couldn't get there earlier on any of the numbers besides maybe like rebounds. But I'm not like I don't love betting rebounds really. But yeah, I mean, obviously Pistons are a terrible rebounds and assist matchup. I think that Jokic, he makes sense. Like the Pistons have the personnel in Duren and Stu, and like it would have just been so easier if he played that game earlier, and we already had some head-to-head data on how they like to defend him. But I do think like the most likely outcome is he gets like single coverage, and not saying like it's only a 5-point spread, but like you said, man, if anything goes wrong in this game, like if this game is Nuggets around 15 at the end of the third quarter, there's a pretty good chance that, because it is like the Pistons are a good team and it is in Detroit. So I don't know. I just think that there's outs for crappy minutes, and obviously like this is a bad RA per minute, or this should be a bad RA per minute spot as well. So I mean, it's at 19.9. The line's at 18.5. It's probably pretty efficient, but that's like one food for thought. Do you have any opinion on Jokic to hit 2 threes just against Duren? He's not your most mobile guy, and Jokic tends to try a little bit more to score in teams against good teams that he has to score for them to have a chance against.
I'm not a big threes guy, honestly.
Fair.
That and like rebound props are the two that I've kind of started to like really move away from, just because I've struggled with them, and I'm not gonna force it, but I mean, Thurn will be in a drop. Stu less likely to be in a drop, but their minutes aren't gonna match as much unless Duren gets in foul trouble. Then that gets a little tricky. But
yeah, Stu will probably switch on to Murray, honestly. Like Stu's very switchable. Duren is not though, so it's like that Duren's not going to be switching there, and he's just not mobile. This is like the strongest lean. Like I said, me and you both don't have plays on this game, so I don't know. I think maybe it's just best to move on to like the fun games where there's a lot of like upside, like Utah and Indy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so Millie, first thing I want to do if I'm doing this is I'm going to go to the Pacers and take everyone off the damn court. And then there's one person who's kind of popping to me, Millie, for an under that, and also like I'm not going to take Neesmith out. He's not like the highest usage guy, and you got to have some sort of a minute sample, right? But so Jay Huff, Millie, I didn't play this yet. Only 105 minutes of the sample here. But if you look at his like PRA and go down, you can see his PRA actually goes down with these guys, which makes sense, right? He's kind of like a play finisher. Definitely probably benefits from playing with like McConnell and Nemhard to an extent, just like people with like decent gravity. But yeah, Jay Huff's usage goes down, his PRA goes down with all these guys off. You're getting a pretty high line for Jay Huff. This is clearly like a tank game, I think. Obviously, the Jazz matchup, like you obviously, I mean, you probably can't make up a better matchup for him, but like maybe under like 5.5 rebounds or something. Like, I don't know, Millie, do you have any thoughts here on Jay Huff unders, or just do you have any of your own thoughts in general?
I mean, on the Pacers side, it's really tough because I feel like there's another one where they just have a ton of bigs, and like very few ball handlers. Is Michael Potter? Do you know if Michael Potter's out?
Potter's out, which isn't great for Huff, because I don't think they have Tony Bradley anymore either.
So it's just Huff, Jackson.
This is their 9 guys, if you can see that right here. Furphy, Walker, Shepard, Huff. Whose game is scalable out of any of these guys? Like Quentin Jackson, I guess, like a little bit. I mean, I don't even know.
Some Furphy, some Walker, but I don't know. Nurkic is like if he does start, I think that's an edge because it's not like you got to focus on boxing him out first before you just go up and grab rebounds. And like Huff's not the biggest center, like physically or strength wise. It could be one of those where he just has to box out and let like guards come and crash the boards for him. But the pace of play in this game is going to be insane. It's just going to be up and down. I feel like a ton of turnovers.
Ton of turnovers. Yeah. Is anything popping to you?
Honestly, in this game, not a ton. I took Collier at 7.5 assists this morning. So I kind of have just been like monitoring the reports, but haven't really taken anything else since then. I think Ace points is a decent look.
This is ugly, bro. 8 guys.
Yeah. Like the minutes are there. The matchup's great. They don't really have rim protection. And if Nurkic does start, it doesn't necessarily draw this like Huff out of the paint. He's actually a crazy shot blocker, but he has to like honor it. Nurkic can take the 3 ball, but this game is just it's sloppy, but there's definitely value with all the injuries and all the like the trade on the Jazz side.
Yeah. If I was in your shoes, I would probably just take my Collier CLV and chill.
Yeah, but I took the 7.5 and I have the 10 plus in a lay.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And now he's what, like minus money to get 10 plus?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, minus 146. I actually don't hate his points either. I guess the thing is too is like defensive schemes like kind of go out the window like when everyone's resting guys, in my opinion. But I mean, the Pacers, they're probably just gonna do their same shit, right? Like play single coverage, stay home on shooters, I guess. I actually think it's a really good matchup for Collier to score, just with the amount of points in the paint the Pacers tend to give up, and just like he's gonna have the ball in his hands a ton. Like he should get a decent amount of pick and roll reps. But yeah, to me, Millie, the one guy who's like kind of popping to me, Ace Bailey makes a fair bit of sense. It's like because clearly this is a tank game, right, from the Jazz. Like they probably don't really want to play Markkanen that much. They don't want to play Nurkic that much, in my opinion. I mean, they were going to rest him, right, and then they decided to play him, whatever. And Svi's like a part of their team, so I bet they're probably going to play a lot of like Sensabaugh, probably going to play like a lot of like Cody Williams. Filipowski, like I said, I think Filipowski stuff is low, like personally. Like you're getting a 10.5 line for him. Let's see, what's like PRA at? PRA for Filipowski is at 20.5. I'm not sold that Philip, like I still think, because first of all, he can play the 4. I mean, they have 8 guys, right? I'm also not sold that this isn't like a weird like 20-minute game for Nurkic. Him coming out, I think that him coming off the bench, and you probably want to hop on that before the news hits, because I think that's still like in the range of outcomes too. But I guess Millie, what minutes would you have Filipowski at?
Dude, that's so tough because I really do think it depends on the Nurkic if he's starting or not. But I think like the 24-minute range is fair. But if you see him starting at the 5 or just the 4 and they have Markkanen at the 5 for whatever reason, just because of the way they list it, I think you could get up to 27 to 28. But it's weird because this would have been that like tank game. But the trade they made today doesn't suggest they're tanking at all. Like they just moved 3 first-round picks for Jaren.
Here's my take on that though. I think they're gonna pull a Trae Young with Jaren, kind of. So yeah, Pip said Nurkic could be an 8th guy to fill the roster spot. That's kind of what I'm thinking, man. But like, and obviously, if you wait for the news for the actual starting lineup, you're gonna lose that number completely. So that's where it kind of gets a little bit tough. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like if Filipowski, I mean, okay, say what would you have Filipowski at if Nurkic is starting?
Probably like 23-ish minutes to 24.
23. See, I think I'd probably have him at 26 or 27. And I feel like that's
fair.
I kind of think that's close to like a floor. So I mean, if you do, if you do, that's 26 plus minutes, 24 plus. I mean, he's averaging 29 in the sample, 24 PRA. And like I do think that like some weird, just like I think a lot of like weird stuff's in the range of outcomes. Like, yeah, we look at this, man. I feel like this on-off pool is about to get cooked, dude, because of all the trade deadline stuff. I'm gonna have to like spend a lot of time like rewiring it or something. At least I hope not. I don't even know. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, like let's just do like Filipowski, like normal stats, like I said, and then you got to like bake in the upside. I think like if things break right and Nurkic is just like the filler, like you could see a 36-minute game. I don't know what the probability of all that stuff is. I guess to be conservative and be like, I think 28 is conservative, and he's at 22.8. Okay, I think I might play Filipowski. Hold up, Millie. My phone's on the charger. I'm gonna quick grab it. Do you want to talk about anything? If you have anything on this Jazz game, real quick.
I mean, I think Collier double at plus money is solid value. He's the only ball handler for this team with Keontae out, Clayton getting traded. And it's not a terrible scoring matchup for him. Whenever I think of Collier double, I always get worried about the points angle, honestly. But Indiana ranks 28th in points in the paint allowed. They're going to play super fast. I think if you missed out on like a Collier assist spot earlier in the day when it was like 7.5, 8.5, or even his RA when it was 11.5, 12.5, I think the double for less risk, like 0.75 units instead of a full unit, isn't a bad look. It's plus 115 on FanDuel right now. But besides that, this game is a little tricky. Like all the Pacers props kind of got steamed up. I know Jarris Walker was at like 15.5, 16.5 after all the news came in, and then the books kind of settled. But that I think is just too high now.
Damn, Filipowski just got bumped up in real time. Got to be shitting me. I'm on FanDuel right now and I don't see it. Okay, where is this stuff up? I think Filipowski. Where'd you go, Filipowski? Yeah, damn, bro. You got to be kidding me. Okay, he's at 21.5 everywhere. I think I'm still gonna play that though, dude. I think that's.
I like that, or the 18.5 number.
Oh, true. Yeah, I mean assists. Let's see. Filipowski's like a sneaky. Is he? Sneaky assist guy.
If they put him in like that Nurkic Kessler role, because I think they have the second highest DHO frequency in the league after Brooklyn. If they put him in that DHO role, he could just walk to like 2 assists, just handing shit off to Markkanen or Collier again, like letting them get downhill. But that's like if they actually put him in that role.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm just gonna do the PR now that bumped up because now you need like 4 assists for it to be like any different. So we'll see.
That's asking a lot.
Yeah, that is kind of a lot for like a backup power forward at the end of the day. Okay, yep, I'm ripping that. And some J Huff stuff, dude. I might play some J. I saw people talking about Isaiah Jackson in the chat. I do think he's a pretty good look, man. He's definitely your tank commander out there over Huff, in my opinion. So
yeah, I don't mind his stuff. He got 25 minutes last game versus Houston. And that's with Siakam and all them.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I just played that. Kyle Filipowski, the PR. Okay, yep, and I really hope that we just get that like filler stuff. Okay, Brandon Williams is out on Tuesday. I feel like Brandon Williams being out is actually pretty significant. Do you want to pop over to let's see, was there any other like fun games to go over that you could think of?
I think there's some really bad games, honestly, but I think all the other games are pretty decent.
Let's go over to Boston at Dallas. Do you have anything for this game?
I do. Let me see if it's still playable. It should be so I actually took Derek White points on DraftKings at minus 103 after the Simons trade, and it's still pretty much the same number. So I think there's a sneaky edge here. If you look at like Boston's rotations, when Anthony comes in, it's usually that first like wave of subs in the half, each half, and that's when White comes out. When White re-enters, it's the beginning of the second quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, and he's on the floor with Simons, and that's when JB's resting because usually plays the whole first and third, and Pritchard's off the floor too, but now you take Simons out of the equation there, like during those 5-minute rotations in the second and the fourth. White's the only, like, I don't think they're going to squeeze the rotation and have Pritchard come in a little bit earlier. So I think White's going to be the only ball handler in a very pick and roll friendly matchup versus Dallas, and he's just going to be surrounded by wings. The 16.5 line, like, it's not the craziest when it comes to hit rates, but I mean, it's still, I think, around 50% like hit rate on the season when he's playing with Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard. And then if you exclude like just the top 10 pick and roll defenses, so like the Brooklyn Nets of the world, I think that number goes up to 60%. And the floor for it is really nice. I think he has 15 plus points in like 75% of games. So that's just within one basket of the 16.5 line, which I think he just takes on a couple more shots during those second quarter, fourth quarter rotations when he would have been on the floor Simons. And that could get him over the hump there. But that was like a late ad that I had after that trade.
No, that's super sharp, bro. Because I mean, you're spot on with that, right? You take Simons out. Who is he going to play with? Like Hugo, maybe like Josh Minot goes into the rotation.
Yeah, Walsh.
Just going to be
catching two guys.
Yeah, purely him running the show. Yeah, and also Derek White. I know you mentioned the hit rate isn't great. I mean, I'm on a cat over today against the Wizards. I mean, just like honestly, I mean, I did this with 30% to 55%, right? Like he's probably shooting around like 42% of these games. We could see Derek White's like way underperforming this year still. So yeah, I think that he's like a decent buy low. Let's see, like his average field goal percentage is 43, and then on the year it's like 39. Like Derek White's like a 43% shooter. Like he should be at least, you'd think. So yeah,
it's just you got to make his shots, but the shots will be there. And I always bet on volume. Like if you take 15 to 16 shots on a 16.5 line, like I'm fine with whatever happens.
Yep. Luka Garza playing for his spot in the rotation game. No, they got Vooch. Millie, so one thing I've noticed too is that Peyton Pritchard actually like kind of stinks with like look at him with Jaylen Brown and Derek White. I played his under once since I found out about this. So it was against the Pistons. So it was like clearly like a way better match or way worse matchup. But look at him with Brown and White. Like, dude, he like does not go over this line whatsoever. I don't really have any strong conviction behind like the matchup for why he's not going to go over. And obviously no Simons. Maybe that's probably not like ideal. It's probably like bump him up a little bit. I don't know. Do you ever just like bet like stuff based off of like blindly off of hit rate, or do you like need to have conviction behind it? Because I don't have any conviction behind this, to be honest. But look at it.
Not necessarily. I just need like another angle to back it up. But I think it's because honestly, like just the rotations again, like a lot of his rotation is with Jaylen Brown on the floor. That's why you see him take a higher like points per game increase when like the games that JB's out, because that rotation with Jaylen Brown is just gone. But yeah, Pritchard's a weird one. I really only take him when like JB or White's out.
Agreed. One thing I do have very strong conviction on is that this dude is gonna get left wide the hell open. So for like my 3-pointers attempted, bros, I'm heading over to my 365. Millie, do you have 365 where you're at or no?
I do. It just became legal like a year and a half ago in PA.
Nice. PA. Are you Philly?
It's like the suburbs, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, dude, 365 is goated. So let's see. Do you ever just on your own time like, look through like attempt lines and stuff and play around with that?
I've done some with free throw attempts actually, yeah. If
free throw attempts.
There's really enough time in the day, but
yeah. So Caleb Martin
line from Martin.
1.5, but minus 190. So yeah, I don't know. Caleb Martin, though, like I said, I feel very strongly that he's ignored, ignored aggressively, right? Because Boston will absolutely do that to people. So not saying like go play Caleb Martin stuff or anything, but I do kind of like lean over on that. Let's see, but no Brandon Williams. So let's quick look at some stuff here, Millie. Because Brandon Williams is like a very high usage, very, very high usage second unit guy. So we could definitely see that. Let's see, Brandon Williams, Delphel, PJ Washington out, Davis, Russell. Take all these damn guys off the court. Let's see, Millie, what site do you use for your rotations? Just curious.
I use the good old Fantasy Labs, but it's that like game flow tab on the on-off tool.
Okay.
It's like in the bottom left. Yeah.
Okay, we can go here. Actually, hold up. Let's it's just like the bench guys, right? So who's gonna come off the bench here? Is it Flag, Marshall are starting, Christie, Clay. Clay's probably gonna see a pretty significant usage increase, I would think. But Yeah, do you have any thoughts with like Williams out? I mean, this is like the guys. Let's see whose usage goes up the most. It's Flag. It's Jaden Hardy. If he ever gets a line, probably be pretty interesting.
I think it's
Caleb.
just really Nemhard steps into that role,
Yeah,
and he's pretty much unbettable thanks to Jonte
yeah,
Porter.
he is unbettable. Thanks to John T. Yeah, that's true. So I'm looking
And
through this because they
Caleb's
do have,
the Boston killer, so
he is.
it
He is
could be a
indeed.
Caleb night.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's check out Caleb. I mean, do you have any strong conviction on his minutes?
Honestly, not a ton, but I think PJ out, and then Brandon Williams, D'Lo also out with AD. Obviously, definitely helps. And I don't think Jason Kidd's afraid to kind of go no point guard for like a longer duration without those guys. Like I just think it's kind of going to be Flag, Najee bringing the ball up the floor. Honestly, just whoever gets the rebound, just run. Um, so I think his minutes are definitely going to be a little tough, but I definitely think he's in the I don't know, like the 23 to 24 range probably.
Yeah, let's do. I mean, so let's just do like a broad one, like 20 to 28. Yeah, I mean he stinks, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're just talking about Caleb Martin. Look at this, Millie. Giannis on the floor during pregame getting shots up. Yeah, for what, dude? You should be on that Timberwolves floor getting your shots up. He will be soon enough. Do you have any like thoughts on like Flag assists or like Najee assists maybe?
I thought about it just because of the whole like collapsing the paint on drives and forcing everything out to the 3-point line, but I just didn't really like hit rates and like the potential assist numbers. I mean, Flags in the most recent game versus Houston was promising, but Houston's not really like a crazy paint defense right now. Um, his potentials actually have been pretty good the last 3 games, 13, 11, 13. They're just not hitting shots.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take PJ. I'm gonna screw this. I don't think PJ really makes a difference, but no Davis, no. Well, and also it depends if because Ryan Nemhard probably is gonna play. So if like I feel like if Ryan Nemhard's not starting, and he's coming off the bench and is gonna like have more staggered minutes and stuff, that could maybe be something. But I mean, Millie, look at these dudes like usage rates and stuff. Like Najee Marshall, Cooper Flag, these guys' usage rates with all these guys off the court. Najee's at 24%. I mean, look at Coop's scoring when you do like per. I mean, I don't know if I'm high on these minutes or anything, but like if anyone, I mean, Cooper Flag's literally at 27 points per 35 with all these guys off on not the biggest sample in the world, but 270 minutes. Najee Marshall looks pretty damn good too. If you give him like, I don't know, 33 minutes or so, his assist looks halfway decent, but yeah.
I know the game's not in Boston, but Coop's from Maine and like he grew up a Celtics fan.
Okay.
But that's just like if this was in Boston, that'd be I think a pretty solid angle regardless of matchup. But
yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. We could go to Lakers at Nets. Do you have anything for this one? I had a couple things circled. So Reeves got ruled in. I was really hoping that Ayton's line would go down to like minus 115 or something, but I kind of really like this matchup for DeAndre Ayton, even though he can be a pretty frustrating guy to bet on from time to time. And by time to time, I mean by like 75% of the times you bet on him. But I also thought that Luka rebounds and assists was pretty interesting. I was hoping for Reeves to come in and this to move down to 15.5, but he's been seeing a spike in I don't know like why, but he's been clearing this line pretty comfortably recently, and I think Nets are going to be very aggressive on him. Nets have been giving up a lot of, and with guys like Luka, what I like to do is look at like their defensive rebounds allowed, because obviously Luka, bro, he's not going to like try at all to offensive rebound, but all his rebounds are basically defensive, and Nets last 10 have been, giving up a decent amount of rebounds, and I think that overall assists too a decent bit. But do you have any Lakers Nets thoughts here? MPJ and the trade
one
deadline?
spot I actually looked into was also Ayton. It was more I looked into the PRA angle just because of the one they're going to be doubling Luka a ton, but I think there's very sneaky upside on the assist angle. Well, I mean, Luka's definitely talented enough to just make the skip pass across the entire court, but when that's taken away, like Aiton's going to be that initial outlet pass, and then he's in a 4v3 at the nail. He can score like that little push shot he does because he can't ever take anything to the basket, or just kick to the corners, or if there's a cutter. But it's not really like widely available. I preferred the RA at 8.5, but it's really just on like MGM. But that was the only spot I really looked into.
No, I see the vision for that a ton, dude. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's like short rollers. I think you made a good point about Luka. The one thing I've noticed about Luka is that like this dude, someone like had a tweet about it, and I can't unsee it after I read it. It's like every pass Luka makes is with the intention to get an assist. Like he never just like gets blitzed and gets off the ball. You know, it's like he's trying to make that skip pass to the corner, like you said, find like someone. But no, I totally see the vision with Aiton here, and yeah, I would actually play this. What does MGM have his PRA at? Like 19.5. I would actually play. I think this 19.5 line is really good, personally.
Oh yeah, Caesar says 19.5 too.
Yep, -132, a little bit juicy, but.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever bet on Nets props or no? Because I really don't.
Almost never, and it's really just MPJ, and it's got to be like at home, close spread, like fast-paced matchup. If I'm going over, and I don't really bet their unders either, just because they're so unpredictable.
They are. Kawhi Leonard named All-Star addition to player pool. Nice. Oh wow, Trey Jones just got upgraded to questionable. That's actually bullshit because I'm on Kobe White's assists. That sucks ass.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's actually insane, dude. The Jalen Smith is listed
coming off the bench.
Yeah, but probably share the floor a little bit. I'm kind of a dumbass for playing Kobe White, like looking back at it today, just with like all the stuff that's going on. Who did the Bulls even trade away? They traded away Herter
and Vooch, Saric. Or did they get Saric?
They got Sarge. They traded away Sarge, but they got him recently, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any thoughts on Bull stuff? I mean, this should be like Jalen Smith's probably in a pretty good spot, but he is coming off of I guess he's coming off a calf injury where he missed like a couple games, so you wouldn't think like anything too crazy for him.
A concussion too, but I actually looked into the Kobe assist angle too. And then the thing that talked me out of it, I guess I talked myself out of it, but this is going to be their 5th game in 7 nights.
Yeah.
And they're traveling. So that was just enough to kind of like put me off a lot of their props, unless it is like Jalen Smith. But he could be limited, but they don't really have too many bigs besides that other dude. I don't even know his name, but I think it was double-double at I think it was even money. Is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you take Vooch. I don't know how many minutes I'd have Smith playing off the calf, but like in a normal game where Vooch misses, which there's only one this year, but they've really been trusting Smith a lot. Like, anyways, dude, like I played his under like 8.5 rebounds against the Pacers when he was coming off the bench, and like he came off the bench and played 28 minutes, right? So it's like, and then 37 the game before that, 27. But that's like when he was like starting with Vooch. Like, I mean, dude, realistically, if he didn't have a calf issue, I would probably feel comfortable projecting him for like 33 minutes. But I would probably tone it down to like 30 or something. And if you do with Vooch off, I mean, it seems pretty on market, right? 15.6, 10.4. But Bucks matchup, I still think is pretty good here for sure. So double-double, what are you getting there? Plus money? Yeah, I would say
that's
not a pretty damn good look.
Yeah, honestly, I think he's hitting 50% without Giddey, and Vooch was in all those games but the one. Actually, he was in all of them.
Let's see. What did you do with the 28 plus? Or
I got him for like 27 to 28. I'm also really conservative on minutes, just to take into account like blowouts, fouls, just all the variables.
Yeah. So he actually doesn't really. So with Vooch off, let's see. Anyone gets like usage increases. I guess like Kobe does. I guess Modest does and stuff. But I don't know. Sometimes with like these bigs, right? Like their numbers kind of tank when they're playing like at the 4, right? Because they can't they don't have they're just like floor spacers and stuff. So I was wondering to see if that happened with Jalen Smith, and I guess he does see like a slight increase in scoring, which is something, I guess. But yeah. Any other Bulls thoughts here? Definitely some weird stuff going on with this team. Billy Donovan said Kobe White will play tonight. Take that for what you will. Yeah, I don't
Dude, that
know,
makes
dude.
me nervous.
It makes me
If he's
nervous
in
too.
all these trade rumors.
Yeah, I totally regret playing it, dude. I might actually. I mean, I don't cash out bets, but if I
Yeah,
did,
I just eat it.
I just hate it too. Thunder Magic, just like I guess we don't have full injury like closure here with this game, obviously, but I feel very strongly that you're not going to get Isaiah Hartenstein playing. So what I naturally kind of like to pivot to with that is like instantly, if Isaiah Hartenstein doesn't play, they're going to be a terrible rebounding team. Wendell Carter looks like his minutes have been kind of dicey recently since they got Mo Wagner back and stuff. But do you have any thoughts on Thunder Magic here, or is it just too up in there?
This is the one game I didn't really look into a ton with just I don't like betting against OKC that much unless they're on the road and all the questionable tags. But I do, yeah, I agree. I think Hardenstein sits because they play San Antonio tomorrow. All the other questionable tags, I honestly just couldn't lean to whether they're in or out. SJ's out there warming up though pregame, so I guess he's more of a lean to actually play.
Is that
It's
what it
just
is?
a tough one, like because Orlando don't have a ton of catch and shoot like options like Suggs, De Silva, but De Silva's minutes are always up in the air. I don't take like home road splits into account too much, but Suggs is like one that really stands out. But his line was what, 14 and a half? 14 and a half, and he's probably going to take 14 to 15 shots. So that's definitely one that I liked, but I just had other
Yeah,
spots today.
yeah, fair enough. I played Suggs officially. If you look at his minutes recently, he played 32, 33. So if you just do with like what I did is 27 to 34, and hit rate looks pretty good off rip, right? 11 out of 15. But look at this shit, Millie. And this is something I've been like playing around with more. It's like a pretty cool filter of props madness, but you can pretty much just like take like, like games where they shoot normally, right? Like I did, like I think 30 to 55% is pretty normal, right? I don't think that's like what, like as you can see, like when you use this filter, he's at 44% and his season average is actually higher. So I don't really think that's like being too like nitpicking. You're just like genuinely taking out the games where he shoots really, really good and the games where he shoots really, really bad. So yeah, this is like, I mean, I played this, it's 27 to 34 minutes, averaging 23.6 PA in the sample, averaging only 30.2 minutes. I think like you could project him for like 31 or so. 9-point spread, OKC. I think that they're going to be down at least probably like a few guys, right? I doubt, especially Hardenstein.
Yeah.
Or I think blowout probability is a little bit lower, but yeah, I played some Suggs over stuff at 19.5 PA.
Yeah, I like that. The only other spot I also looked into was Palo under, but it's way too low now. And I think you could do Palo under points, but over assists, like a correlated
Mm-hmm.
look. I don't know how, like, I'm assuming a decent amount of his assists do get filtered to the 3-point line, but I just don't know the exact number off the top of my head. But that's the only other angle I really looked into. But it's down to 21 and a half now, which is probably too low.
Yeah. Yep. No, for sure. OKC is probably going to be very aggressive on him. I like Bane unders too, personally. I mean, Bane's a guy who could maybe get some catch and shoot looks here and there, but yeah, Paulo's probably the guy because if he's getting catch and shoot looks, he's not making them anyways. Philly Golden State, resident Sixers fan, right?
Yeah.
Is what do you think? What do you think about VJ?
I think VJ and Oubre are in good spots, points wise.
Yeah.
I think if you look at even if you just set their minutes to like 30, which is pretty low considering Nick Nurse is kind of like Tibbs in a way where he plays his guys 36 plus. Even just with Embiid and Paul George off, their per 30 is pretty much what their line is now. But if there's no blowout or foul trouble or injury, they're probably getting close to 36. So
yeah,
I like both of their spots. I couldn't really decide between the two, so I kind of left it on that side.
Yeah, I mean, I think VJ Edgecombe is a guy like genuinely like, I mean, like typically you want to like project medians, especially just like what their median minutes is, right? Especially in a game with a 4.5-point spread. Because this game should not be a blowout, dude. I mean, the Warriors without Steph, I think your Sixers, one thing I noticed about them, dude, every game is a dogfight with them. It seems like
Yeah,
no matter who they're playing. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, realistically, dude, you might get VJ. Like, if you tell me this game's close, I would like if you guaranteed me the game was close, I'd actually probably have VJ for like 37 or 38. I think that 36 is a pretty fair projection. You do get him at 17.2, 5.7 rebounds, 3.8 assists. You think do you think that they're going to be aggressive on Maxey, or what's your thoughts there?
I have no idea. They could. I don't really remember the last game they played, but I know that was another one where everyone was out for the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond got like ejected or he left injured. He played like 9 minutes, but that was another one that was a really ugly game. I think they both scored under 100 in that one. But I don't know what they do with Maxey.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't really do much to him last time. Had a 33.7% usage rate. But yeah, who knows? So that's like one tough thing about it, I guess. Yeah. And then on the Warriors side of things, I do have a pretty strong opinion here. The line's gone. It's actually not. The line is actually not gone. It's not at FanDuel anymore, but DeAnthony Melton, and I think that I think this line might go down a little bit because I think that the books maybe will see that he's not starting and drop his line a little bit. Maybe, I'm not sure, because I don't think he's going to start. But if you do like with Curry off, Butler off, Kuminga off, dude, like DeAnthony Melton's usage is like insane. And now, to be fair, it's only on a 100-minute sample size, but like, dude, like look at this shit, Millie. Plus 10.6 usage, plus 12.7 points, plus 6.6 field goal attempts. Like, PRA sky high up, like it's ridiculous. So I really like DeAnthony Melton. I'd probably have him playing 25 minutes. He did play 26 last game, and if they're like serious about winning this game, I think they need DeAnthony Melton for like 25 minutes here. He's at 22.6 points.
I saw a report that said Kerr said he's still at like that 25-minute mark.
Yeah, for sure. I think he did play. So I guess you think 25 is like a little aggressive and do 24 maybe, 23 or.
I think 24 to 25 is probably fair.
Yeah, split it.
I think if it is close, like one possession, like in the clutch, you could get a couple extra minutes there, like 26, 27, but I think 25 is fair.
Yeah.
I've seen Melton everywhere today. I actually took pods. I went against the whole community. I took pods today. I took his PRA. I got it at 24.5, but I still think 25.5 is pretty solid. I think you can get a 19.5 points plus assist line. That's pretty good. I mean, you just showed it. He had the second highest usage increase after Melton. I don't know how sustainable the Melton one is, honestly.
It's not, bro.
Yeah. But I like the PRA angle instead of like just straight up points, because he is going to have the ball in his hands a decent amount when it's not like Draymond at the top. With the ball in his hands more, it's going to be more. I know they don't run crazy amount of pick and rolls, but even if it's just a DHO, just something to get him downhill against Drummond's drop, I think is just advantageous for pods, because he takes those floaters. He likes those like little push shots right before the free throw line. And I just think it's like one of those weird pods games where 19.5 PA is available, where he just kind of just fills the entire stat sheet. I think in three games without the big three of Curry, Jimmy, and Kuminga, he has 30, 20, and 23 PRA on like normal minutes where he doesn't play sub 20. The 2 games he went under were OKC and Minnesota, which is just OKC is a nightmare, and Minnesota don't really give up a ton of RA. So I just think this is a really good pods game. I think his usage and his touches and like his advanced matches are more sustainable compared to like a Melton, who's also on I don't like betting on guys who are on like a set limit, like in terms of minutes.
Yeah, that's true. So do you have pods for like, do you think 30 is a fair projection for him, or what did you have him at?
Like I said, I always go a little bit under just to be safe. I had him for 27, 28, but he's been playing 28 with over the last 3 without like Jimmy. So I think he could get up to 30, but I still think the 27 to 28 is like a just a safer floor.
Yeah. So that's fair. So 26.1 PRA, Millie. And I will note this too. I do think pods becoming more inefficient is definitely like I think that's real, right? Like without when he's like being forced to do everything. However, like he has these PRA numbers with 30% 3-point shooting splits and 33% from the field, right? So I mean, he's not that bad. Like whatever you want to say about Pods, if you think he stinks, he can't scale up his game. I kind of agree, but still, it probably should be at like 39% and like 33% or something, right? So you could actually make a pretty strong argument that the scoring number should be a little bit higher too.
Yeah, I mean, he hit the last game versus Detroit, which is a terrible matchup, on 1 for 8 shooting, and he had 27 PRA.
Yeah, that's insane.
So, I mean, it can't get worse than that shooting at home, too, on rest advantage.
Yeah, and played 28 minutes. I think you might be selling the minutes short a little bit too, because I don't know, Millie. My conviction on this game, like being close, is like very, very high. Like I feel like
it could be one of those games like when we played Denver and they sat everyone and we lost in overtime. Like it could be that kind of like how close it is.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. No, I like that. I actually really like that Pods look, man. You're kind of making me like look back at that, and I'm actually kind of contemplating that too. I think that's really good because even like you said, line should probably be 26 and a half. Like at minimum with like the 28 projection, and I feel like that's like a low projection too. So I actually really like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good rebounding guard too. Like he's actually a really good rebounding guard, and I don't think Horford versus Drummond, like post versus Drummond, like they got to focus on boxing out and letting other guys crash. Like they're smaller. He's just second best offensive rebounder in the league. So you just kind of got to let your other guys get on the boards.
Look at this shit, Millie. Bang. Filipowski starting. Let's go, baby.
Yeah,
we'll take that. Yeah, Giannis got traded to the Wolves. I'm pumped. I'm kidding. I wish. I'm waiting for that underdog noti. It's going to hit like crack, dude. See, Trey Jones, hamstring, but not expected to play. That's good shit. I guess, Millie, one last game. I typically always have a Blazer bet, and I had Drew Holiday over 10.5 points circled. I think he's one of those very dicey guys around this time of year. 10.5 points. Clearly, I should have played it if it's at 12.5 now. But do you have any thoughts here? Denny's officially out. I guess Drew still is questionable. Usually, I know me and you are big betting on Donovan Clingan game guys, but did you have anything for this game?
Not a ton. I just don't really like betting on or against the Suns a lot. They're just like one of those teams that are good at everything, but they don't excel at one particular thing to where you can exploit. Like if they're not crazy in the paint, they're not just like they're just very good at everything. I feel like anytime they play, it could be a blowout, like against a sub 500 team. Hopefully not though, because I actually have a Blazers future, like on their win total. So I'm a Blazers fan for the season when it comes to the West. But this is one of those games where I didn't have like a ton.
Yeah, I hate to be the guy who doesn't have a ton either, but I don't have a ton either. I don't think Mark Williams' game is like the best to exploit the Clingan matchup. But also Jared Allen just had 40 points, dude. Like it's getting ridiculous at this point, bro. Like the way he sags off and just like invites like a million floaters. Like if you have any sort of touch, like like my gosh, bro. I don't know how. Like if you go to Millie, are you a big DVP guy at all? I know I saw you shitting on it the other day, and I kind of
I hate everything about DVP unless it's center versus center and you actually know those centers are matching up. I think it's one of the most like it's just I don't think it's very good. Like it's not consistent.
It's not consistent at all. I think for centers, especially for 3-pointers allowed to centers, that's one thing I've been warming up to a little bit. And I don't know why the Heat are. I think the Heat are there because of where. Well, that's last 15, so that doesn't even make sense. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think that like centers, it's fine. Everything else is like bullshit though. I see people talking about like rebounds versus power forwards. Like, dude, you got to be shitting me. Like, this is so stupid.
It's ridiculous.
But but like I mean, if you look at like centers versus the Blazers, dude, like last 7, they're dead last 15, they're second last. I you could sell me on Mark 11.5, I guess, but also I don't know if there's like a ton of value on Mark at 11.5, to be honest. So I don't know.
I will say for guys like Mark Williams who can't stretch the floor and pretty much just everything in the paint, I like getting those even numbers where they end on 10 or 12, just in case they don't like go to the free throw line. because that's not also guaranteed either. Like I think 11.5 for him is a much bigger edge than taking like 12.5. Or even like taking 10.5 really juiced. I would rather 11.5, like because the odds of him ending on 11 versus 12, I don't think are that different.
Oh, I agree completely. Millie, have you watched Cam Jones play NBA basketball?
I can't say that I've been tapped in with Cam Jones too much.
So, dude, Cam Jones is starting. And honestly, dude, I see this 11.5 line. And like, look at the starting lineup, bro. Like, he's going to, like, Shepard doesn't get usage no matter who's in there. I don't think Furphy does either. He's like a pretty stiff individual. Jarris Walker will for sure. But 11.5 for Cam Jones. I want to just quick go to my site. And I know this is like going to be like the most like bullshit sample size of all time. But like, let's just like quick check it out. I wonder if my guy Cam Jones is popping for like the usage, like whatsoever. Cam Jones, at least he's not at the bottom. Where's Cam? Okay, nice. 20% usage. Lower than Tony Bradley. Higher than Furphy. But yeah, okay, never mind. Do you have any thoughts based off of this starting lineup that we got going on?
He I don't know. The lineup kind of just screams. Do they have Quentin Jackson is available and Ethan Thompson, right?
Yeah, they're gonna play a lot.
It kind of screams like Cam Jones starts the halves, but doesn't really get too many minutes after that. Like one of those, he plays the first 7 minutes of the first quarter, third quarter, and that's about it. But it's just that their depth, they don't really have any depth like at all.
So 9 placers. Ethan, they will all play. Yeah. Is there anyone who like makes a lot of sense to give minutes to, dude? Like that you see, like Furphy maybe. I mean,
I think Furphy and Walker are the two most because it seems like they're already in the rotation, but they're still like very young. To where you just want to get them like in-game reps. And I think they're the two that are likely to play the most minutes besides. No, honestly, it's just them two, I would say.
what do you have Huff playing?
He's starting.
Yeah.
It's just him, Isaiah Jackson, because the Potter's out. Probably I could see him and Jackson just splitting the minutes at center.
Yeah. What do you think they care more about? And do they have like anyone who's viable for like a small ball 5? Not really. Harris. I'd probably have them at like I agree with the split, but since I'm looking for an under, I'm going to be a little bit conservative, just like you tend to be. I'm going to give them 26 minutes. Conservative in like the reverse way for unders. He's at 5.1 rebounds, 11.3 points. We saw that his points go down, but they're playing the Jazz and Filipowski starting. So like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. Nurkic probably isn't going to play, dude. So I bet you're probably going to get a 7-man rotation. I mean, obviously we got great CLV on Filipowski. I wouldn't even be shocked if like, dude, Collier at 11.5 or 14.5 points. Like, do you have any opinion on that whatsoever?
Not a ton. I just don't like a lot of the Jazz props where they are now, knowing where they were this morning, honestly, because I think Collier was at 12.5 points this morning. I just not big on playing like those bumps this late.
No, fair.
Unless there's like drastic injury news or trades, which is what happened, but I don't really want to double dip.
Yeah, agreed. Let's see. What about Isaiah Jackson? I just want to see him with like 20, 22 minutes. Isaiah Jackson's like low-key like a solid offensive player. Okay, and he ain't shit. I guess it's 6.5 rebounds. I mean, I don't know. It looks like that's gone too. So, okay. Millie, I think that's gonna wrap it up. First of all, I'm gonna say thank you for coming on and breaking down the slate. I respect your process a ton. I think that like you are super, super sharp. I mean, me and you like, and there's like, I mean, just like the Twitter space, right? There's so many like people who sell picks and do these are big and stuff who like will read me and you will read their write-ups and like what is this dude doing? Like they are just flipping coins. So I do respect your process a ton. And to everyone who's watching this on YouTube right now, I recommend you guys give Millie a follow on X. I do have his Twitter link down below. It is at Millie Props. But Millie, is there anything you got to say before you hit the hay?
Not really. Just if you're telling anyone, be very careful. Make sure they're diligent in their own process. The next 2 days are going to be crazy with trades though, so it's going to open up a ton of value across the board. Also,
Ton of value. Would you play any unders in the morning these next couple days?
not the next couple of days. Like even today, I didn't consider it that it could be a possibility. I didn't realize how soon the deadline was, but it's one of those where I would play I wouldn't even play rebound or assist overs too early because if you take an assist prop and their main if you took Harden assist and Zoo got ruled out or you took something like that, that throws everything off, I think. So I think I would take points props earlier because guys getting ruled out just means more shots to go around in usage, and I would wait on the unders later in the day after the trades could happen.
Yeah. 100%. I agree completely. Overs definitely do have some random value. Dude, if Memphis played today and you bet a random over or whatever, you couldn't have seen Jaren Jackson go into the Jazz coming. So there's shit that's in the range of outcomes where you can, and the books aren't going to be pricing that stuff into the lines early in the morning. So yeah, I agree with Millie completely there. And little advice, yeah, absolutely avoid taking unders. Honestly, overs probably have value in the morning for these next couple of days. So yeah. All right, sweet. Like I said, guys, give Millie a follow on X at Millie Props. There's a link below in the bio. And Millie, it was great having you on. We should definitely run this back sometime. And to the audience, I do appreciate you guys all for tuning in and being respectful, even though I said I'm not answering questions today. I know it's just going to be us. So I do appreciate that from you guys. All right, with that being said, guys, live at the same time tomorrow. And we'll be posting a video too. And we'll catch you guys then.